Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Bobcats Coaches Show, here live from a packed Crossroads Social House here in Wytheville. Give it up for yourselves, first of all, for making it out here as we finally dug ourselves out from the depths of Mother Nature's winter wrath. But speaking of wrath, you guys decided to lay some wrath on the Danbury Hat Tricks this past weekend to the tune of 6 points in a weekend sweep. And Robin even had a friendly time in the middle of everybody with 2 brooms. He made sure everyone saw that. If you did not tell, our player guest is Robin Eriksson. And yes, we did warn the kitchen that he was arriving, so they've already got at least 18 plates of chicken wings on standby, give or take. Yeah, he said give. Just give them all to him. Anyways, that is Robin Eriksson and head coach Wojtek Zemlika. And Zemi, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how important this next stretch of games is going to be. And, you enter this stretch of divisional play. You come into the weekend. There's a 3-point gap between you and Danbury. Anything can happen at the start of the weekend. You guys put the foot to the throat. The pedal was to the metal the entire weekend, and you guys took care of business. And now all of a sudden you win Friday night, you're in third place.
Yeah, the last 10 games, it's been big for us. We've been playing some better hockey. I feel like we became a little bit more as a team. It all starts in the locker room, and with that, we're talking a lot about what's ahead of us in the second half of the season, and what we want to achieve. And every big goal has a series of the small goals, right? And we're focusing on achieving the small goals, to eventually being able to get to that big goal. But playing Danbury, the message to us wasn't necessarily just the standings, but being down 2-0 in the series after not having a very good weekend in Danbury earlier this season, and just wanting to get back in the series, and I definitely think we've been playing, a better hockey, and it showed. I think it was very competitive games. It was even games. I felt like, especially Saturday, I felt like they, outcompete us the first period, but we were able to execute and put 2 goals on them. Then I felt like the second period we played better, and we had some necessary penalties, and they scored a goal, tied the game, and then the team showed that no quit, that resilience we have in the room, and was able to win that game and finish that weekend. So definitely huge. And going into Topeka now, we're 2 points away. They have not as many games played as we do, but we have not played Topeka yet, and they're a good team. We're excited for that challenge. Those are the teams we want to play against, and you never know, that may be the team we're going to play in the playoff as well, right? So, but coming back to, again, it's not necessarily about Topeka, it's about us, and us being consistent at what we want to achieve, and playing our style of the game.
Yeah, you said it. Getting off to a strong start, of course, is important, and Danbury got off to a strong start on Friday, but you speak to the resilience that this group has. And it was almost an immediate response after that second goal that they scored Friday in the first period. I think it was 30 or 40 seconds right after. Danny puts it in, makes it 2-1. All of a sudden, it's 2-2 after one, and it's a whole different game. And just that mentality of not letting, we talk about it a lot, but it really reared its head in that first period, not letting the big momentum shifts decide the outcome of the game. You guys took control of the game, the pace of the game, and you dictated the pace of the play the rest of the way after that.
Yeah, I felt like we played well the first period on Friday. You could see it on the shots on the goal, but we made some mistakes in the D zone, and Danbury plays very simple style of the game. They just throw a puck at the net and they crash the net hard, and we didn't pick up stakes in front of the net and didn't help Schramer there. They were able to put 2 goals on us, but the mentality has got to be a 0-0 game. It's a 60-minute game. That all happened early in the game, and then Danny, leader captain, he stepped up big time. He's done something we talk about. He executed on it, and it seemed like that was kind of trigger for the rest of the team, and then we were able to put a few goals up and then play with the lead.
And let's talk about goaltending for a second. Of course, Schrum was fantastic on Friday, but how about Greg Hussey getting his first start since last April on Saturday? 40-plus saves. Didn't look a day over 40 years old out there.
No, he did not. Oh, for sure. Greg's been it's been awesome just to have him around, not just as assistant of the coach, but now having him on the ice. I feel like him and Dustin, just saw the couple of the guys on the team with the young group we have brings that experience we may be missing in the previous years. They share the knowledge and they just play the smart game. Greg knows that he doesn't need to over exaggerate out there, and he doesn't have to make those dive saves, but he's played the game for a little while now, so he's a student of the game. He's got that knowledge, and at the same time, the excitement getting back in the game. He missed the game, he missed playing, and the opportunity came, and I asked him before the game. I said, "Are you ready, or do you need another week of practices?" And he said, "I'm ready." And I know the boy's gonna play well in front of me. And he stepped in, and the first period, we did not help him at all. He definitely got warmed up with 24 shots on the net. But that's kind of something he said himself. I needed. I needed to be kind of thrown under the fire there and get back in it, and that helped him to build the confidence through the rest of the game. But he definitely stood on his head.
Yeah, Robin, from a defensive perspective, we've talked about it a lot this year. We talked about it when Schrummer was on. To have the goaltending that you guys have behind you gives you guys a lot of confidence, both offensively and defensively, to go out there and play your style, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Good goaltending is always the key. Like, you can't win a championship without the good goaltending, for sure. So yeah, Schramm has stepped up big time. He's been, 8 in a row?
Yeah, I believe he's won 8 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, and done it fantastic. Now Hasi come in, doing so good. So yeah, we're definitely ready for this end of the season, coming up to playoffs. Well, when the goaltending's gonna be on top, so going with great confidence.
Yeah, goaltending vitally important, especially coming down the stretch here. But Robin, as Zemi touched on at the start there, one thing that you guys wanted to make sure you took care of this weekend was not only to get the points, but you kind of wanted to wash the last time you played this Danbury team behind you. You felt like there was a little bit left on the table, and you guys especially had a lead in that Saturday game up there a couple of months ago. So one thing that you guys wanted to make sure going into this weekend was not only that you were able to pick up the wins, but that you were able to do so in a fashion that really squashed it and felt like you were able to even things up.
Yeah, for sure. It's a 6-game play against Danbury, and they were up 2, so we had to take it back, for sure. Last time we were there, probably my worst ever hockey trip, from the rink, cold and everything. So it was nice getting back on track, just beat them, sweep them. It's always nice with a sweep, of course, especially against these guys. So it was very, very nice, and I'm looking forward to go back to Danbury and sweep them again.
Absolutely. We'll be back there in March, I believe, for the final 2 games of that season series, and who knows, it might be a playoff matchup come springtime. But let's dive back into the details from the weekend. There were a lot of great performances over the weekend. Zemi, of course, Jesso's hat trick on the hat tricks. Apropos, he was a former hat trick as well. Seriously, if you wrote that script and scanned it to Steven Spielberg, you'd throw it out. You'd be like, this is too good. Of course, you had that. You had Danny with 4 assists, I believe, on Saturday. Stuckless 2 power play goals on Friday. So both nights, Friday and Saturday, it was one entire line that made up the 3 stars. You had Nikita's line that was that made up the 3 stars on Friday. Then you had Danny's line that made up the 3 stars on Saturday. just a terrific effort all the way up and down. And, of course, Timothy St. Pierre picking up an assist in both those games. So congrats to him. That's his first North American professional points. So big for him. But, everybody up and down, even if they didn't show up with a point, there was something that somebody did at a certain point that contributed to the victory.
Everybody pulled the weight, for sure. Things been clicking, the line's been clicking, the special teams been clicking. By saying that it's clicking doesn't mean that we don't get scored on the PK or we don't score on the power play. But for the most part, our penalty kill's been getting better. Our power play's been around that 25-26%. What is really good to me. But guys individually, just like I said, everybody pull their weight. It's everybody understand it's not just somebody's job; it's everybody's job. And I think that was very important going in this weekend. And honestly, lately the last few games, there haven't been a lot of changes, and it all starts in the locker room. Like I've been saying the other day to somebody that, my office is really cool, right next to the locker room, and we've been having some harder skates, and then after those skates, you hear the guys in the locker room just being in a good mood and chatting with each other and just having a good time, and that's what I find is very important when you do something, any job you do is to have fun with it, and the guys are having fun. On top of it, they are performing, and we just gotta keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it's going to be big, as we said, this weekend going into things, as we said, third place on the line in the division, and I'm sure you guys are ready and raring to go. But I want to touch on one more thing, the physical aspect of things that we talk about a lot. Things didn't really boil over as much as I think some people might have thought, especially going into that Saturday game. But I thought that one big key to victory especially was that willingness from you guys to not really engage in a lot of the silly stuff after the whistle. We saw Carson's helmet get ripped off. Boom, automatically that's a penalty. We saw some scrums happen. You guys kept your composure, stayed to the game plan pretty much the entire way there throughout the weekend, and we saw the difference that the power play made, especially on Friday.
Part of our identity is competition, right? And competing just in hockey is non-negotiable. That's a very important part, and physicality is part of competing, right? And I think there haven't been necessarily fights happening over the weekend. There's been some scrums, but I think the guys competed hard. We saw the hit from Lavak on one of their better defensemen who didn't end up playing the rest of the game. Then, Sensi had a big hit, Carson a couple of big hits. Everybody was throwing their bodies around. And, on the other side of it is, when the teams are down, they try to get under your skin. They're trying to throw you off your game. They're trying to, force you to get in the penalty box in any way possible. And like you said, the guys stayed composed, and that's very important, right? We don't necessarily wanna back off from anything, but at the same time, especially when you're in the lead, you gotta be smart, right? Like putting ourselves in the situation where we go in the box and they get on the power play is not necessarily the smartest thing. So, we gotta continue competing, and physicality is very important part of our game, and that's usually we're playing well when our feet and are going and we're throwing the bodies around, and hockey is a physical sport, so it's gotta be there. But like I said, we just gotta stay on top of it and continue doing that.
Yeah, Robin, one other thing that I really noticed over the weekend was your guys' willingness not only to make sure you were composed behind the net, but when you were able to get the engine started offensively, the breakouts this weekend honestly looked about as crisp as I've seen them look all year. Zemi might disagree, but I really liked what I saw out of you guys getting involved offensively as a defensive core.
Yeah, we've been practicing a lot of breakouts lately, and I think the whole team just are so dialed in right now. Like we cannot find the old grandma's lasagna recipe. Felt like so we start winning games. Like everything just gets easier. Uh, Breakouts offensively. Like when we start playing easy, usually you can just build on that, and that's what we're seeing right now. It's all starting by playing easy and go from that.
Yeah, we've talked about the simplicity aspect of things, Zemi, and that really showed a lot of times over the weekend was guys not trying to do too much, was guys being in the right place at the right time. You look at the goal that Gesso scored for the hat trick. He happened to find a little hole there behind Danbury's defense while they were changing. Carson, same thing. It was a high flip out. Carson won the foot race to the loose puck, and he backhands it in. It was guys being in the right place at the right time. It was, perfect execution, passing wise on the power play. There's a lot of stuff to circle that, in the grand scheme of things, isn't all that difficult.
Brett, before I answer that question, I'll come back to those breakouts and the retrievals. I really felt like Danbury's done a great job on their forecheck against us. Each intermission we were talking about different exits and breakouts, how we can get out of the zone because they were able to read it, and they were coming after us pretty hard. They have a good sticks, always on the puck, disrupting our play and just taking all the options kind of away. So a lot of credit, to Danbury, the way they played and competed. But to what you said is, simplicity. Simple style of the game it's hard to do. As it sounds simple, it's difficult to do because it's not fancy, it's not cool, right? Just to flick a puck out of the zone, but it's a skill to have, right? Like you can flick a puck out of the play and put it in the stand, so you can put it to the icing, or you can put the right weight on it and deliver it to a guy who's supporting you and is able to get to the puck first. So, playing simple hard game is something what you're gonna see more and more from every team going towards the playoff, because that's how you play in the playoff, right? You don't want to take a risk of making a play to the middle of the ice because the ice may not be good, or it may hit the skates, and the next thing you know, it's a turnover and the puck ends up in your net. So it is important to get consistent at playing simple and understanding when the option is there to make a play and when it's better just to put a puck outside of the blue line, out of the D zone, and we call it a live to fight for another day, and regroup, get back in the controlled forecheck and go on the forecheck. Definitely, we've been playing more simple style of the game, what limits any kind of turnovers. And I found that very, very important for us and our game.
Yeah, Robin, I'm glad he brought up Danbury's forecheck because that goes into the breakout aspect of it as well, like Timmy said. Of course, that heavy forecheck led to their first goal on Friday, but you guys, I felt like, did a great job of making that adjustment and going through the rest of the weekend, making sure that everything was buttoned up on that end.
Yeah, their first goal there on Friday, I think the beginning of that shift was probably the best start I seen from us this year. How we roll around in their zone, and then they just first shot, first goal, which was kind of like a slap to the face, of course. But I think no one in the team was stressed about it. We know what we got, and we showed it, and turned the game over, and won.
As we said, there was a ton of great performances up and down. Whether anybody got on the score sheet or not, like you said, Zemi, everybody pulled their weight, and that's what it takes when you're playing a team like that's evenly matched, that you're battling with for playoff position. It takes those little things here and there, and it takes every ounce of every single guy to play that playoff style of hockey to end up getting that result, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They, again, a lot of kudos to them, because I felt like this was one of the hardest series we've played in a while. Remind me a lot our team last season, when we may not be the most talented, but we always competed very hard, and that's what they did. And again, it came down to little things, little details, and execution. And I think obviously we did a better job at it, but the games could go either way, honestly, this past weekend. And we're happy that we were able to win both of the games, and we also understand that going to Danbury for the next 2 games, they'll make adjustments, and again, it's not an easy team to play against, and it's not an easy team to beat, right? So we have to continue doing our job and getting better, and as they're gonna be getting better, so we can repeat the same thing.
Yeah, and just as they're going to be watching tape from this last weekend to improve going into this weekend, Topeka is going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be watching tape on what went wrong for them against Indiana, and they'll have some things to button up and adjust as well. So we'll get into that later on in the program. But we've reached everyone's favorite part of the show, the superlative portion of the program. Robin, I just want to preface this by saying that the first question that we ask in this segment, usually you are the answer to this question. So I don't even know if I should ask it, or I can alter it. I'm going to alter it. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions related to you and your teammates.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, question 1. Other than you, who is the biggest eater on the team? Who could give you a run for your money in a hamburger eating contest?
I can say no one would take my money. I would probably take their money like a school kid. But maybe Denis Hlachenko would probably.
That's an interesting answer. Yeah, I can see it though.
Yeah, he's a big guy, but he wouldn't have a shot against me.
Yeah, Rob, I don't think anyone would.
I'm too confident in that part.
Hey, you set it up. You've got the sign. Show us the sign, Brandon. What's the sign say? Robin, can you read that for me, please?
Jag kan ha ostburgare.
Can I have cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's close enough. My Duolingo subscription is going to expire anyways. I don't think they're going to want me to renew it. Question 2. I like that one. That one's good too. I can read that one. Question 2. Who is the funniest guy on the team?
Funniest guy? We have many funny guys, but I give a shout out to Dales.
Oh, okay.
Justin
That's a good
Daly.
answer.
We connect in the humor part a lot. So
The comedic connection there between Robin and Daly, so we'll be sure to remember that going forward. Question 3. Best or biggest video gamer on the team?
I don't know. I'm always sitting in the living room, so I don't really know what guys doing in their room. But I know Rels have an Xbox, and I actually start borrowing it the last couple of days, playing some good Call of Duty from when I was a kid. So, but I would say Rels, I guess. I don't really know, but maybe Rels.
I've heard that this year's group is a little bit scaled back on the video gaming compared to the last couple of years, but Rels is I could see that as a possibility. Question 4: if you had to start a band with 3 teammates, who are we picking? Who is the most musically inclined?
I'm a big heavy metal guy. And
see, this is why we're friends.
And Rels love heavy metal, so definitely Rels. He can probably sing. On the
Felt like there was some imposition to that.
Okay, we say I take the guitar, Rel sing. On the drums, I would have maybe Phil, just sitting there stone-faced. Then on the bass, I would say Dales. He have a good head for headbanging. So
yes, he does. He does. Rels had a much better head for headbanging last year, but he still does. I don't know. Maybe we can throw Dennis in there on the rhythm guitar. He's got some lettuce going on.
He will probably F it up.
Okay, then Damon. Damon would be the other all-hair team.
Yeah. Damon can stand in the background headbang.
Damon's just the band social media guy that's standing there with the phone attached to the stick and just doing this the whole time. Question 5. If you were stuck in a zombie apocalypse with any player on the roster, who would be your ideal person to be stuck in this scenario with?
Maybe Dennis.
That's the second week in a row we've heard Dennis.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I could sacrifice him to beat some zombies and I'd run away. He would probably do
That
it.
is not where I was expecting that to go. This just in. Dennis, if you and Robin are stuck in a zombie apocalypse, Robin is physically picking you up and throwing you to the wolves. Literally.
But Dennis is a good guy. We would have fun together.
You guys would find a way to survive. That's for sure. You'd find that's ultimately what matters. You'd find a way to survive. I don't think Dennis would be sacrificed as much as he would just take the lead on things. Hey, Robin, get behind me. Eyes on me. We got this. Or whatever they said in Stranger Things. I don't know. Is what Dennis would say to you in that scenario. But
I don't watch shows, so you can't do that reference to me.
no, I can't.
Only movies.
Only movies. Okay, so bonus question. We got a pretty long bus trip coming up. You got to pick 5 movies.
5? Okay, yeah, sure.
Rattle them off. What are our picks?
Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, Prisoners, then maybe throw in American Pie.
Which American Pie?
We can do the original and the Beta House.
Okay. I think the original
Yeah.
is in the tote full of DVDs, so I think we may be able to
Okay,
pull that one off.
sweet. And maybe the last one, the Grimsby Brothers. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
elite cinema knowledge right there.
There's not
That's
many
a good
guys in
pull.
the team that's seen it, but I showed PJ it, and he loved it.
It's
So
honestly
you
it's a
guys should
hilarious
watch
movie.
it.
Yeah,
It's-
Brothers Grimsby.
Yeah,
It
Brothers
is a
Grimsby,
hilarious movie. Very underrated film, by the way. But yeah, okay. So we'll write that down. We'll make note for the long multi-hour trip coming up. But there's no group of men that would rather be on a bus for 16 plus hours together than you guys. So
No, of course not.
that's for sure. Let's move forward to your playing background here, Robin. Very briefly, walk us through what things were like for you growing up in Sweden, coming over to North America, and what the journey's been like to get here.
Yeah, it was awesome in Sweden growing up. Had great coaches, played in good teams, played pro for 3 years there. Then I felt like I needed to do something else, experience. So, and I always wanted to try North American hockey with smaller rink because I always thought that would fit my play style more, being physical. So last year I took care of it. Got an offer in Evansville and I took it right away. It was like no brainer. Went there, had the best time in my life, and couldn't wait to get back to North America to play again this year. So I'm happy that I got the opportunity to fly over and play hockey here.
Yeah, talk about what what things were like leading up to the start of the season here, getting here for training camp, and what things have been like for you here with the Bobcats so far.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's different in Sweden. We usually start in August, all the teams. So I actually had the opportunity to practice with my old junior team. So just practicing there for 2 months, getting here, meet the boys, and I love that the preseason is so short. It's kind of wild in Sweden. It's 2 months. Here it's 2 weeks, and I think you don't need 2 months to practice. So I love how the setup is here. So I couldn't get more hype to start the season. Get like a little revenge from last year, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, talk about how great the support's been from these fans since day one.
It's been
since you got
awesome.
here.
I've been taken well care of ever since I got here. Shout out to Richard and Edwina that picked me up from the airport when I got like 9 hours delayed. So yeah, they were showing up like I think it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. Stood there, took care of me from the first day. It's been really good, and all the fans has been terrific. It's always love playing at home because of the fans. So yeah, I can't ask for much more, to be honest.
Well, given what I heard below me in Winston-Salem a couple weeks ago, which was your name the entire game, but it wasn't friendly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would much prefer playing at home.
I, I got a little fan there. I think he probably have a picture of me back on his door. I don't know. He loves my name. He calls it out a lot. So
Yeah, they can actually hear it in Charlotte, I heard. They can hear it in a whole nother area code further down I-77. But, yeah, Winston-Salem loves you. PD loves you.
yeah,
You love Sonic now as a result.
yeah. They gave me a eat free at Sonic for a year.
See,
No,
here's
no.
the thing.
I wish it was like that, but
That's what it should be. If you're going to give the player that honor, first of all, you said you were putting it on your resume, which is, I mean, automatically a step up on everyone else.
sent it into Elite Prospect, but they didn't want to take it. So
I'll vouch for you on that one. Somebody's got friends in low places at EP that can get that put on. That no, it's not. But yeah, anyways, that should be the award. If you're named the Sonic Weenie of the Weekend, you should get free Sonic for a year. PD should look into that. Anyways, Zemi, talk about what it's been like to have a guy like of Robbins. You know, not only his skill level, but just his moxie, his personality to have around the rink each and every day.
That's what I would like to start with, his personality. You know, Robin's great. Robin is, first guy in the locker room every day. He gets there, makes the coffee for everybody, start playing his music, uses mat, what he likes to stand on in the morning, and just, get those vibes for the day. And, just his presence around the boys. I think he's a big reason, a big part of why we have such a good locker room. Is like I said, main reason Robin always singing, always playing music, always hanging out around, and the boys love to have him around. And then obviously he does a lot on the ice. His physical presence, he's always the first guy to. One of the first guys to stand up for the boys, loves to throw the body around, likes to bring that entertainment. He's a guy that, like you said, not a lot of teams wants to play against. He's not, very favorite in when we play any other teams, and that's the kind of the guys, you want and you need. And, Robin adds to it, his skill set and his hockey IQ, experience playing a pro for a few years overseas before he came here. So, all around, like, Robin is a very important part of the team, and we're very happy to have him.
As you said, he's one of those guys that's never afraid to throw the weight around. But I've always loved Robin's his composure, his hockey IQ back there on the defensive end. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
With a smile on the face.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's that hockey IQ. He understands his role, and he plays his role very well. Consistently. So with his locker room presence, and like I said, smile on the face, that no matter what we do, and just doing his job at the best he can on daily basis. We can ask for much more.
Yeah, I want to double back, Robin, to your first goal with us when we were in Indiana back in November. Walk us through that one, because Zemi had a little comment on that one the next day.
That was the
backhander. Yep.
Yeah, a little coming in the middle. I think it was Rels. Passed it. Took it to the backhand, a little muffin. I don't know. I went in, but it went in. So.
The funniest part of that was the next day when we were chatting before the game, and you said, "Really, Robin thinks he's a skill guy now." it was a skill play. He has those little moments, right?
He's got a hidden skill set there. You can call him a skill guy.
We could call him that, but he prefers to be called just Robin, just because he's a humble, down to earth guy. That's what he always will be. So let's move ahead to this weekend, Emmy. We talked about it at the beginning of the program. Third place on the line here in the division. Topeka, of course, does have 3 less games played than you guys do, so they've got those games in hand. So that might end up mattering at some point down the road when we start getting into tiebreakers. But this is your only meeting with them this season, is this coming weekend. So your chance to get those head-to-head wins that could matter come tiebreaker time are right here and right now.
Yeah, Topeka is, for expansion team, they've done incredibly well this season, and you looking at their roster from the top down, forwards, the goaltending, they're just solid all around team. I don't, looking at the film, they play a little bit old school style of the game, but it's very effective. They've got the guys who've been, top scorers on the teams they've played on last season before they joined Topeka. Like I said, the decor is very steady, simple, physical goaltending too. They got Sammy Bernard. He's a great goaltender. So, good team. It definitely is going to be a challenge for us. We're ready for that challenge. We're excited for that challenge. And it's important for us if we want to go in the playoff and play well in the playoff. Those are the games where we need to show up, and we need to play at our best abilities. And if we do that and we play our game, play the game the right way, play humble, honest game, usually the result is made for you. So that is kind of what the focus is just us not taking a step back, us not, showing any kind of a complacency, understanding what it took for us to get to this position and have this opportunity, and not taking granted, but get the most out of it.
Yeah, Robin, I think that's really the big MO going into the weekend is to make sure that things remain consistent, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's like now, like I said, we kind of figured it out now, like with the team, how to play, and it's all about consistency. Like Sammy said, I think last week, when it's getting easy, that's when you like kind of like get away from the game. You start trying new things, but that's not the time for it. Just keep the consistency going. Just keep on rolling with that, and yeah, that's how we got successful this last couple games. So definitely just keep that in rolling.
Yeah, Zemi, as you said, for an expansion team, they've had a lot of, for a first year team, they've had a lot of success, and they have a lot of experience on the roster. Of course, Sammy Bernard's one of the more experienced goaltenders in the league, and he's one of the few in the league that's got a goals against under 3. So he could be a tough nut to crack, but that's a part of the challenge that you guys are ready for, right?
Well, we've played against Sammy last year a lot when he was on the Baton Rouge team, so we know what we're walking into, and I don't think just Sammy is something we have to be really worried about. I do believe we have a great group of the players who know how to put a puck in the net, and we can create the offense. To me, it's just us playing the 200-foot game. Like I said, playing it, understanding that defense is more important than offense, and playing well from the back end, and not cheat, just playing that full 60, and continue doing the little things right, because at the end of the day, and that's something we've said a lot lately, is if you start a game right and you do the little things right, it will shape the rest of your game. It will become become consistent, that you don't even have to think about it. So that's obviously that every team we play against, you have a little bit different approach to the games depending what team we play against. The pre-scouts are different, so you have to tweak things here and there in offensive zone, defensive zone, neutral zone, forecheck breakouts, but those are little tweaks. It shouldn't change the identity we have as a team, and that's what we have to stick with. And like I said, the most important thing is to go from a get-go, shift by shift, and treat it that one game is a three games. Each period is a game, and you wanna go with the 0-0 mentality, no matter what the score is, no matter you're up or down, and you know play well when you have these opportunities, when you get in the lead or where you're down, finding a ways to get back in the game.
Yeah, Robin, that's I think going to be really important going into the weekend. Is as Emmy said, playing with the lead. I think having that mentality of keeping the foot on the gas and playing that full 60 minutes is going to be really key against a team like this.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's a learning, but with playing with the lead. Same in golf. I'm a big golf guy. It's like when you have a good round, you don't want to think too much. Just want to still play. I don't know, shit in the bed. Like that's usually something I do in the golf. So just not think about it. Just play. But of course, if we have a lead, we gotta play play with the lead, and I think we're getting better at it. We showed it this weekend. It's still much to improve, but we're getting better. So
Brett, you have to get in the lead first, right?
Right.
So again, it's the start of the game. We never played each other, so we're gonna have to feel it out. They're gonna have to feel it out, right? It's gonna be a great weekend. I think for both teams. No matter what the score of the game is gonna be, how the game is gonna be played, but again, to us, it's the start. Put that foot on the gas and keep that foot on the gas, right? And if we get a lead, then yeah, we made that adjustment, and we talk about a lot how to play with the lead because that's important. But again, the most important part at the start of the game is not to get too excited that you want to get in the lead, because when you get too excited about the offense, you forget about the defense, right? And that's the wrong way to approach the game. You have to start defense first and doing the things well without the puck. And then when you get that puck, you have to manage the puck well. Because if they don't get a puck on their sticks, or if you control the puck and you control, that means you control most of the games. It doesn't mean you score, you score the goals. There's more to it, but it's a good start.
Yeah, special teams could be a big difference this weekend too. I was looking at the numbers earlier today. You guys are pretty even on both the power play and the penalty kill on both sides of the ledger here. Both you guys power play are consistently 25-26%. You're plus 80 on the PK. So if this could be one of those games that we've seen a couple times this year where, that one power play at a certain point in time late in the game or that one big penalty kill late in the game could really decide things.
Yeah, I think the discipline is what's going to make a difference, right? First of all and foremost, we got to be disciplined, so we're not taking penalties we don't need to take out of laziness at the times. If there's a penalty, there's a good and bad penalties at the end of the day. But staying out of the box is gonna be important, and then finding ways to score when we get on the power play. Again, every team plays the penalty kill a little different. Some teams are more aggressive than others. Some teams play a different style or a shape of the penalty kill. That's what the pre-scout is for. That's what we talk about. That's what we work on, and then it's a matter of us executing in those situations.
Yeah, Robin, we'll kind of wrap it up here, but as Zimmy said, for you guys, discipline is going to be really key, and when you have the man advantage, it's important that you guys find a way to take advantage of it.
yeah, for sure. I feel our PP has been more confident this last couple games. We're scoring a lot. That's something you want in a team. When you get a PP, you kind of like feel we're gonna be up by one. Like you already know it, and I kind of feel like we found that now with the power play. It's getting better and better and better, and it's huge for the team. Of course, gonna stay disciplined. Same for me. Sometimes can take some penalties, but that's something I try to
Robin,
improve
just
a
get too
lot.
excited sometimes.
Exactly. Just want to crush somebody. But yeah, this discipline, that's something we've been working on a lot, and it shows. When we don't take penalties, that's when we're winning, pretty much. So Yeah, that's two big keys for the upcoming weekend, of course.
So we'll wrap it up here with the same question we end every show. What are your 3 keys to victory this weekend, Robin?
Shoot a lot, composure, and crush somebody.
I like the last one. I like the last one a lot, actually. All right, Zemi, what you got?
Same as the last time I said, is cohesiveness, competition, and discipline.
Those 3 pillars. Let's get it done. We'll be on the air at 7:50 Eastern Time on Friday night. Remember, it's an hour later because it's Central Time there in Topeka, so it'll be at 8:05 Eastern Time puck drop. So we're on the air at 7:50 for both nights, Friday and Saturday. So be sure to join us on the Blue Ridge Hockey Network. For Robin and Zemi, I'm Brett Wiseman. We'll see you then.